Hi guys, tonight I want to talk to y'all a little bit about what to expect in long range planning next week, okay? There are 3 different components that we're really going to look at. So I'm going to do an overview of those and then talk a little bit more in depth about them on what to expect. So the first thing that we're going to do in every grade level 1st through 5th is we are going to design our CBAs, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. After we design our CBAs and we're happy with that because we've done our backwards planning, we are going to place our TEKS on the calendar. After we've placed our TEKS on the calendar, we are going to say what checkpoints do we need along the way, aka the grades, okay? And finally, if time permits, which I don't expect that it will, but if it does, and this is why I'm putting it over here, the how. And so again, this is only if time permits. The how is going to be saved for PDR, and it's also going to be saved for planning. Okay, so a little bit more about what to expect on the CBAs. So here's what I need y'all's help with. I need you guys to print them out before you come. It would really help if you guys got a head start by taking them out and solving them before you got there. But the process will look something like this. Okay, you guys come with the CBA for last year. Let's pretend this is your CBA that you came with for last year. Your first step, and obviously this is a different one, would be you would want to go on every question and TEK it out. Okay, so that's going to be our first step. Our second step is we're going to go in and solve them. So now we're not so much talking about the how we're going to solve it. We are just talking about that will be talked about somewhat indirectly. But if you have more questions about how to solve it that can't be answered right there on the spot, I do want you to let me know that, okay, Jana, when we got to this part over here, when we got to this bar model piece, when you guys talked about this, I know we're going to need to go a little bit more in depth on this during planning or during PDR. That's great feedback, great information. I want to know that. But the how is really going to be our planning and PDR time. Okay, so that's the CBAs, guys. Also with the CBAs, we may get to the end and decide, you know what, like this question number 18, you know what, this question, this really doesn't fit our unit plan, this doesn't fit our CBA this time. We need to tweak this question, or maybe we need to put this question on the next CBA. Okay, any of those decisions will be made there right there at that time. We will also be making a key for the CBAs at that time. They will be created at that time, and we will be leaving with all CBAs intact. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to back up real quick. For the CBAs, I'm sorry, there was one more thing I needed to mention to you guys. Make sure you have your field guides, your TEK snapshots, your unit plans, your and then any resources that we need. For example, like a minute ago I talked about, if we needed to tweak number 18 and we wanted to replace it with something else, we need to have a resource to be able to go ahead and replace it with something right there on the spot. Okay, so be thinking about things like Mentoring Minds, Engaging Mathematics, all those resources. Okay, so that's our CBAs. This is our backwards design plan. And we want to make sure we do our CBAs first so we have the end goal in mind of what we want our kids to be able to do, and also looking at the rigor and what our kids need to be able to do at the end of that unit. After we've done that, we're going to go on and place our TEKS on the calendar. So this is pretty basic, just what it is, placing the TEKS on the calendar. However, for this, you guys are going to need a couple of things. We're going to need our unit plans. They give us a little bit more information on, well, what TEKS should we be teaching in that unit. We need our field guides because sometimes we need to know a little bit more about the TEK in order to break it down to see just how long might we need for that TEK. We also need the TEK snapshots. We know that not all TEKs are created equal, and looking at the category pieces can help us with that. Lastly, your curriculum at a glance. Okay, we want to make sure we bring those to planning as well. Okay, so after we've placed our TEKS on the calendar, we're going to move on to our next spot. Checkpoints along the way, aka the grades. Well, I know that you guys have had some resources that y'all have used in the past, so your prior resources that you guys have used for checkpoints. Bring those, please bring those. We don't need to reinvent the wheel, but we might want to tweak some things. Okay, other resources. Maybe you're saying to yourself, you know what, Jana, I'm new to the grade level. I don't have any prior resources. That's okay. Everybody does have Mentoring Minds. You have Engaging Mathematics as a grade level. You guys also, especially in the upper grades, you guys have Math and Practice. Now a lot of Math and Practice is the how, but they also have things on there that would be the what. They have printables on there for students, and you guys can access those online through Heinemann. So if you are interested in this, you really want to make sure that you're bringing an electronic device. Also, STEM Scopes handouts. And Mentoring Minds, that goes for math and for science, because we have them in both in 3rd through 5th grade. And 1st through 5th grade, you guys have your, just the math one. Kindergarten, although this piece doesn't really apply to you guys, we will want to talk in place of that particular piece. Go ahead and bring your kindergarten report card piece, because then we can talk about pieces along the way and how might we want to assess students at different points to make sure that we understand that they're getting the material. Okay. Finally, if we get all of those things done, we can look at the how if time permits. Why am I skeptical that this is going to be over here? It's because I really want you guys to be able to leave with the following things, okay? So you can feel really good about what you've accomplished during long-range planning. So some of those things should be, we're gonna take another look at the CBA we have coming up in December, okay? So I know that we visited about this and most of our planning sessions and our PDRs and things like that, but I want us to take one more look at that, make sure we're aligned, because we have not long ranged, any of us, in the month of December. So after we get that one done, we're going to look at the CBA for the first part of January. So that's, and I say first part of January because it's different for everybody. Okay, so basically what I mean by this is before progress reports in January, and then your second part of January going into February, your CBA that happens after progress reports, that's in the third 9 weeks. Also, I want us to be able to leave with the following grades, okay? And guys, this is a minimum, but at least before progress report, at the very minimum, you want 1 major, 2 to 3 minors, 2 to 3 others. So that's 5 to 7 grades before progress report time. Okay, after progress report time, same thing. 1 CBA, at least 1. You can have more than 1, but usually we just have 2 in a 9 weeks. So another CBA, 2 to 3 minors, 2 to 3 others. So guys, what does this turn out to be? This is 5 to 7 grades before progress reports, 5 to 7 grades after progress reports. In other words, 10 to 14 grades for the 9 weeks, potentially more, but at least this is the minimum. Guys, we really want to make sure that we're checking and we are being, we're doing right by kids along the way and making sure that we're checking in and giving them feedback, okay? So that's where the grade piece comes in. So again, in a nutshell, long range, what to expect, CBAs, placing TEKS on the calendar, making checkpoints along the way, and if and only if time permits, the how. Okay, look forward to seeing you next week, guys. Bye.